Attack of the Giant Worm. It was one of those dog days of summer, muggy air that you wear hot days. It was what my mom calls a high BSI, or butt sweat index, day. My little brother and I were at my aunt's house since my parents were working. I was just trying to enjoy some cartoons that morning because I certainly was not going out in that heat. In the middle of one of my shows, I hear my brother and younger cousin fighting, or so I thought, since they fought so often back then. They yelled louder, "A worm, a giant worm!" I thought, who cares? It's not like we have an Alaskan bullworm around here. They would not let up, so I went to see the giant worm. I walked around the corner and what I saw stopped me in my tracks. It was not a giant worm, but an enormous snake slithering up the wall. It was so big, its head had passed the top of the door and its tail was still on the floor. I immediately told them to get away from it and yelled for my aunt who was in the basement. She said, "Whatever it is, it can wait." I told her it could not wait and she needed to get up here now. As she was halfway up the stairs, she said, "What are you kids fighting about now?" I said, "We're not fighting. There's a giant snake in the breezeway." She finally listens to me and goes to the other room and immediately starts screaming, "Snake, snake, giant snake!" We had no idea what to do. We don't know if the snake is poisonous or not. We know nothing about how to deal with this. Fortunately for us, a little old lady next door heard my aunt's screams and rushed to our defense. She rushed through the door carrying a garden hoe and proceeded to fight the snake. The snake was striking, hissing, and recoiling. After a long drawn-out battle, the old lady managed to win the fight against the snake. Unfortunately, in the process, she managed to chop up the brand new linoleum floor my aunt had just installed. What was left of the snake got tossed on the side of the road, and my aunt decided to tell my mom about that day's adventure. My mom was pretty upset, thinking that her kids could have been eaten by a giant snake. The rest of the day was pretty normal. We went back to watching cartoons until my mom came to pick us up. She came up to the door and said to us, "Wait, that was what all of this was about? That is not a monster snake." The intense heat of the day had cooked it down to about a third of its original size. My mom didn't get to see the snake slithering up the wall. She didn't get to see the fight. All she got to see was this little bit of shriveled up snake jerky on the side of the road. To this day, my mom and dad still tease us about this story. My dad says that if we're telling the truth, it must have been hit by a shrink ray or something. My brother and younger cousin have since learned the difference between a snake and a worm. We told my grandpa about the event, and he said that where there's one, there's another. And based on the description of the snake, that it was something called a cowsucker. They're not poisonous, but I did look it up. They can get from 6 to 8 feet long. If you enjoyed this video, then like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to be notified of future videos, then please hit the bell icon. Real stories, real funny, Realville tunes.